A few words about my company. So it's a privately held company established in 2006. The most part of our revenue comes from video game and software localization in several language pairs. We are ranked number 7 in the reputation rating of LSPs in the former USSR countries. We've got 40 people on staff, headquartered in Samara, and we also have subsidiaries in Tolyatti, Kazan in Samara, in Hong Kong and Prague. And we are also at-rails representatives for the former USSR countries. So we train and sell and localize and provide support for Deja Vu and the other products. Now I would like you to share your experience. Has it been so that you've seen conflicts between your employees because they have conflicting goals or conflicting approaches to business? Please raise your hands. We've seen that. Okay, quite a few. Have you ever been disappointed with the results of a year, financial year, for example? Yeah, all right. That's true. And have you ever been disappointed with the efforts you had to spend to achieve these results? Yeah, naturally, that's so. And another set of questions is actually related to that. Does your firm have goals, clear goals for 1 year? Please raise your hands. Okay, for 10 years? Yeah, less hands. Okay, anyway, good. Will you know when you are there? Who of you will know that he has achieved the goal, the 10-year goal, when he's at this very point, that you can measure that you have arrived at the place? No hands? Oh yeah, I see a few hands. Good, but even fewer hands. All right. Do all employees know the goals? All of your employees know the goals? How many hands? How many? Well, at which company all employees share the goals? Good. Your experience would be very valuable at the end, I think. And finally, do you reward all employees according to the activity related to achieving goals? Who does that? Okay, but I see more hands now than I believe than when I asked whether you are setting goals at all. So it's, you know, sort of strange. Anyway, so the answer, well, but don't be disappointed, because this is some statistics from Franklin Covey Associates. So Franklin Covey did a survey, did a research about how many employees actually know the company's goals. And the result is that only 15% know all 3 major company goals, while the majority, 61%, couldn't name even a single goal. Well, the reasons may be various. There may be no goals. The goals may change all the time, so that employees just don't know what's the actual goal. There may be too many goals. That's difficult to remember. You know that it's difficult to remember over 5 to 7 objects at one time. Keep them in the head. The goals may have not been translated to employees, so they have been cascaded, not explained, not discussed. And finally, just employees may be traditionally involved in non-goal related activity, just, you know, like typing or just looking at the monitor or at the display. They're used to coming at work, sitting there for 8 hours and leaving. So it's not goal related activity, is it? This is why they don't know the goals, they don't care. So about sharing the goals, it's quite a different thing. It's about emotions, whether you're emotional about the goals of your company. So again, a research, well, it's 2003 research, but I don't think things have changed a lot. Only 19% of employees share in the company goals. So they have some emotional passion towards the goals. This is usually because the employees do not feel ownership of goals. They do not participate in setting the goals. They do not discuss the goals, so they don't feel like these are their goals. And they may also not see how their activities affect the goals, But the final point is, I think, most important. They often do not see that what they have done is properly rewarded. This is it. So management by objectives is an answer to these problems. So it's a simple procedure. It's a cycle consisting of 5 steps. First, you set organizational goals. The main objective. Then you cascade it to the level of, support staff, to the lowest level through middle management. Then you monitor, you control. Finally, you evaluate performance, and the last but not least, you reward performance. So it's quite simple. Let's start with setting goals, setting the organizational objective. The importance of setting goals is it's transparent. For example, in Tolkien's Middle-earth, the Lord of the Rings, many of you have seen the film. The good guys have been, trying to destroy the evil for 2,000 years, but in vain. But as soon as the goal is there, they set a clear goal. Get this ring, go to the volcano, cast it into lava. Done. Right? It was done in 1 year only. You see? So that's the difference between having a goal, a clear goal, and not having it. So, but why? Why goals are so important? So goals focus attention. So you don't do things that don't matter. You focus on things that matter. Another thing is, goals energize you as they contain challenge. So you have more energy. But besides, they affect persistence. So you don't just have energy for a short period of time, but you have endurance. And finally, they affect your cognitive knowledge. So you learn new ways to do things to achieve the goal. That's natural. And there are some principles of goal setting. They overlap. First is the SMART paradigm, which all of you know. Is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Goals should be as specific as possible, so you can know when you're there. This is very close to measurable. So there should be some figures, something tangible attached to the goal. They should be attainable, so they should be realistic, because otherwise that would be too much a challenge. They should be relevant, because you may set, goals like, related to your personal affairs, not the company affairs, or just some non-commercial activities, for example, when you're setting goals for business. And then it should be time-bound. So everything should have a certain date, a deadline, whatever. And Sir Edwin Locke also defined some principles of goal setting. They partially overlap. So clarity, that's specific, something about specificity. Challenge, yes, challenge is important. Because if there is too little challenge, it doesn't mean emotions for people. But if it's too much of a challenge, like, okay, let's open a subsidiary of our company on Mars. That's a challenge, but too much of a challenge, it will happen in maybe 50 years, if at all, right? Commitment, that's about sharing. So if your employees do not participate in creating the goal, then they're not likely to get really involved. Feedback. When you have goals, it's important to send feedback to your employees, whether they about the progress, and there should be feedback to goals themselves, because goals cannot be static. They cannot be fixed for forever. They should change according to the reality. And complexity. Again, there should be some balance of complexity. So if we look at some strategic goal at the top, the first stage of management by objectives, I just tried to Google translation company, our goal is, and look what I found. Set the standard as the leading translation company worldwide. Good. Is this smart? Can you measure it? Okay, now I am the standard, right? I've achieved the goal, now I can put a medal of honor or whatever. No. Surpass the demands and expectations of today's business world, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not an offense or something, but it's not a goal. It may be, like if it's not even a mission statement, it may be something like, okay, we feel like this. Read. All right, but it's not a goal. This goal may work. This is just an example. So like by 2020, enter top 30 LSPs of the world by net profit according to Common Sense Advisory ranking or equivalent. So it's something tangible. You know when you're there, when you're in the list or you're not. And well, we may argue if it's a challenge to the employees or not, if it involves them emotionally, but it can work as a strategic goal. So now to the business case at All Correct Language Solutions, and we'll come through all the other 4 stages of management by objectives. So this is the state of our company at the end of 2009, sorry. So you can see the liabilities and the assets. So you see that the liabilities exceeded assets by maybe 10%. This means that, and the assets consisted of mainly receivables, and the cash was only a very small share. This is why actually we were on the brink of insolvency. So if all our vendors came and asked for money, then would break down. So we had no strategy. We had a new service line that is localizing huge player online role-playing games from Chinese into Russian. So Chinese is a complex language, these were really massive projects of many thousand pages. So we had insufficient competence for that, and we had delivered performance of about 70%. Major client was about to leave, consequently, so this is all connected. And this major client was the gaming client, one of the gaming clients. So normally just consequently we had cash flow problems and were on brink of insolvency. So what did I do? First of all, I admitted my own limits. So my daily management is not my strong suit. This is why I hired a professional daily operations manager. What did we do together? So we sat together for 2 days, shaped a goal tree for 2010, and we skipped the 10-year goal. This first stage because we didn't have time for that, because that was the state of urgency. We should have done something immediately. So we involved middle managers as well. Yeah, so we had a lot of pelmeni and drank a lot of tea or coffee or, I don't remember exactly, but okay, it worked. So this is the first stage we skipped, then the goal tree for the year. This is what we do once a year, naturally, and we started at the end of December and we finish it by, say, end of January. Well, it's late, but okay. Then the next stage is individual performance management, which is once per 6 months, because there may be too many goals to fit into one person's plan for a year. This is why we split it into half-a-year period, and this gives us time to be agile, time to change, time to adapt, because we may set goals, the situation may change, the market may change, the viewpoints may change. This is why half a year is good, and it's better for giving feedback, because if you've got yearly goals for employees, they have to wait for a year to be rewarded or to get feedback. It's rather difficult for them. This is why this is the next step. Then we do performance monitoring. We do it during monthly reports, and we also sit with all employees face to face, so just employee and his or her direct manager. And finally, finally we have daily management. So we have weekly management, yes. So all the managers, including middle managers, spend like 45 minutes once a week to report on the goal-related activity during the previous week, and they speak about their plans about their goal-related activity for the next week. This is very important, not just what you're going to do, but what are you going to do according to the goal tree. So if any one of us sees that somebody is planning something for the week which is not in the goal tree or not related to that, we just, wipe it out. This is important. And finally, there is the daily management stage. So every employee spends, several minutes, like 5 minutes with his direct manager just every day. Well, this is just common sense. So goal tree for 2010. It was far from ideal because you see that at the top we've got the specific goal for like net profit more or equal than specific sum of money, rubles, but all the other goals were not very smart. But unfortunately, we didn't have time to polish it because that was urgent. So that we set with that. Of course, the big goal is cascaded into big tasks like shorten delivery time, raise quality, like make employees happy, like improve the image of the company, that's PR, etc. Okay. Well, this is how one of the tasks could look. Well, and looked actually. This is a translation of one of the pages, one of the branches of the tree. So this is shortened delivery time, and it may include all different, things like implement these QA tools, train project managers in this and this. Then finish some Excel spreadsheet to calculate something, to plan resources or whatever. So, and you see that the color, that the boxes are of different color, and you've got a legend at the bottom right, which actually says which middle manager or top manager is responsible for each goal in the goal tree. That was the second stage of it. Then the third stage is individual performance management. Is something we do once a 6 months. So you see, here the direct manager with the employee, they sit down and they devise a goal for. They consult the goal tree and they set smart tasks here for half a year. Then we see months here to control the process, so we mark the progress of the person. And what else do we have? Relevant training, because of course we may set goals, but the competences of the employee at the moment we set the goals may not be sufficient to accomplish the goal, to accomplish the objective. This is why we set up relevant training, we set up dates, responsible persons for relevant training. Then we approve the goal, the individual performance management for half a year. They approve with not only with the middle manager, but the manager of the manager. So 3 people are participating in goal setting for employees and reviewing performance. So then the next stage is performance monitoring. This happens once a month. This monthly report. So all the employees of the company, including support staff, all the 40 people gather in one room. That's a bit crowdy, but all right. So everyone reports on their tasks from the goal tree, shows graphs, etc. Then we come to the level of weekly management related to to the goal tree. So we have got the goal tree over the whiteboard. We've got just a special whiteboard for the weekly management. So we've got the goals over it, so that everyone can see the goals and keep them in mind, keep energized for the activity. And then we've got some boxes, some parts. Every manager has his own sector, so he writes or she writes the goal for the week in red, and then subtasks in blue or black. And we tried to make them smart as well. This is Russian. I didn't want to translate it and rewrite the whiteboard. This is a picture of whiteboard in 2010 anyway, so it's been wiped out. It's something like that. So it's no more than 45 minutes, just very quick, and then we know what to do and what the other people are doing. This all goal-related activity. This again. So we're not spending our time. We try not to spend our time in the fourth quadrant. Like urgent and non-important things, or the third one, like important but urgent. Yeah, urgent and unimportant, or urgent but important. So but we try to focus on important and non-urgent things, because usually these are the tasks from the goal tree. Something strategic, something you need for the development of the company. Well, on the level of data management, the lower level, I admit we do not use a complex translation memory system, because the translation management system. Sorry, because we just tested a lot of them. We used them for some time, and we just thought better of it. Well, it has a lot of drawbacks, of course. Maybe this is incredible for many of you present here, but we finally stopped that. We still use the big whiteboards. So there are maybe four big whiteboards for project managers. So they write the projects codes here. You don't see them, unfortunately. The project managers' names and the workflow stages. And if this is called data management, because every project manager is with the head of project management every day for 5 minutes, and they go through all the projects on the whiteboards. And if we're behind schedule on some workflow stage, it's marked in red. If we're done, then it's marked in green. If it's planned, it's black. So, the advantages of this is actually that whiteboard is always present in the office, so it's highly visible. You can then, it's kinesthetic, so you go and write with your own hand. You not just type something. So it's better memorizing. Of course, it is not very convenient for management accounting, because finally all the figures should go down into some reporting system. Basically, we have one, but this is not done automatically. So people project managers file data to the management accounting specialist regularly, but this is not fed from a project management system, unfortunately. But this has its own advantages. Well, but for big projects, of course, we have some tools, naturally, like a translation management system, but based on Excel, with macros, whatever. Because you can't manage a 5,000 pages project, on a whiteboard. It has so many chunks of text, so many stages, so many things to do, that just no use. It has reporting. This Excel TMS has some reporting functions as well. So how much has been translated, edited, whatever. We do not stick with TEP paradigm, but sometimes we use it. And the last stage of management by objectives, last but not least, as I said, is rewarding performance. If you do not reward performance, then the guys will not believe you after the first year or half year. So they will see that the management by objectives is just a big fake and just no use. So we've got three levels of final grade, which is exceeding expectations, met expectations, or below expectations. So if the employee exceeds expectations, we add from 20 to 30% to salary. If expectations are met for this half-year period, then we add plus 10% to base salary. And if the employee doesn't meet expectations, then we do not do anything with the base salary. But if this is for the second time, then we just terminate the contract and fire the person. This procedure was fully carried out only at the end of 2011, start of 2012, because you cannot implement management by objectives like in an ideal. We couldn't do that, implement it all perfectly well. So we finally did it. Now, well done. This is comparisons of 2009 versus 2010. So we see, that was the first slide I showed you, liabilities and assets. Liabilities and assets. This is the same for the end of 2010. A lot of, maybe this was cash, this was receivables, this was property, but this situation is much better. So our vendors could come several times and claim their money, right? Okay, and we could have the resources to pay them. We also had some other outcomes, like the revenue, well, increased, you see, like fourfold or something. And the deliver performance went up from 70% to 99%. And you know, well, the European Commission standard is 95% delivery performance. They actually have 98% at this moment, but their target is 95% of projects delivered on time or before the deadline. But, well, this is all very good, but we had some problems, challenges, and pitfalls. I would like to share them. So the first one was, okay, there was the big branch of the tree related to quality. So we wanted to improve quality, but the issue is how to measure quality, because if you cannot measure something, you cannot manage it. We actually managed, the quality is subjective, as you know. You may argue with your client about quality. We may argue about quality of one and the same text forever. And so we counted the percentage of claims from customers, quality claims, instead of counting quality. This meant that sometimes when the clients were not happy, but they didn't file in a claim or call us, tell us, we didn't notice that, and the client just quit or just started to send us less jobs. We've got direct customers. For 90% of our customers are direct clients. That was not fun. So what did we do? Now we use detailed specification for every project. Well, the level of detailization varies. So for gaming projects where style is important, for example, so this aspect is dwelt on in a very detailed way. So it's broken down into small subcategories, etc. For technical translations, not so relevant, and it may have only 3 categories or something. So we do specifications and we agree on them with the client every time. Well, they may be simple, they may fit on half a page, but we do them. We do internal check according to the specifications. Then we do regular selective third-party checks. Well, if you do a third-party check once a month, if you check even 10 jobs you delivered, that's great. This gives you much more information on your workflow, on your resources, etc. So we now implement regular satisfaction surveys. Well, sometimes people use them, sometimes they do not. Well, we used them a long time ago, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, but very few clients actually answered the surveys in an Excel form or in a written form. This is why we came to we decided that we want just phone survey, very short, just 3 questions, very simple. Anyone can answer them. We've got a algorithm what to do if yes or no question answer we receive. Then and regular face-to-face meetings with the clients, because as you know, very often the clients do not tell you anything over the phone. They say that everything is good, everything is perfect, thank you very much, and we don't give you any more jobs. Okay, so you've got to actually come and talk face-to-face, and then they just tell you, okay, we're not happy with telling you bad things, we feel uncomfortable, we don't like to disappoint you. Well, that's it. So finally, we defined quality as a percentage of delivered orders for which specification violations were not detected or identified, vice versa, provided that every customer is interviewed on satisfaction. So, and provided that the feedback is investigated, of course, because if there are some quality claims and you not do anything about them, well, you don't have a quality process in place. This is an example of specification we use. Well, it doesn't mean that we use this special specification on every project, but we use some sort of this specification on every video game project, and it's only part of it. Like there is maybe 3 times more. Like we see here, like how to translate tags, how to localize, what characters to use for this and this, for dashes, for quotation marks, how to translate culturally sensitive information like folklore. Well, in video games it's important, like folklore references or proverbs, etc. Well, all the stuff. We have managed to formalize even the most of the critical stylistic requirements. So that was the first challenge. The second challenge was gathering data for KPIs. So every goal has a KPI attached to it, key performance indicator index. Okay, as we're actually a small enterprise, having only 40 people on staff. Okay, we've got one person responsible for account management accounting who collects all the data, and everyone's actually relying on the person, and the person is relying on all other guys, how they file in information, etc. So, the person just didn't cope with the task, and we lacked some management accounting data. So they were not actual. They were not there were too many inaccuracies, like plus minus 10 to 20% is too much. It's not for all KPIs, of course, but for some financial KPIs we didn't have reliable data. So sometimes we didn't have enough information of whether the employee's performance was really like great or mediocre, for example. We of course could tell if it's like very bad or very good, but for the what is it, threshold things, like we often couldn't, sometimes could not take a decision. So there should be maximum automation with management accounting, and there should be a full-time specialist for management accounting, top qualifications. Another challenge was evaluating performance correctly, because for example, if you see, have a look at this. So for example, we have January and February, and these are data for a project manager, and so we delivered, for example, 40 jobs here and 100 jobs in February, and on time 20 jobs in January and all the jobs in February. So if we count KPIs by month, we get 50% and 100%, which results in 75%. But if we count all the jobs, like here, 140, and delivered on time, which is 120, we get over 80%, which is a different figure, and may be important because the smart goals are set, like, for example, deliver 99.5 jobs on time %. So, of course, this is the right way to measure, but you can easily fall into this mistake. Another pitfall is not trimming the goal tree. So you sit with your employees, with the middle manager, and you invent a hell lot of goals, like maybe 100 goals or even more. So you want this and this and this, and everything is cool, everything is urgent, everything seems important, but it is. But unfortunately, you just cannot manage that. This is why you should trim the goal tree very harshly. So just cut the branches, cut the twigs, everything. So just keep only the critical things. We didn't manage to do that in 2010, by the way. So it was a mistake. Then another pitfall is overconsulting with this stuff. I mentioned that there should be involvement of staff, okay, otherwise they would not share the goals. But unfortunately, if you consult with them too much, they will think you don't have any authority. Like, okay, the management doesn't know what to do. They ask us all the time. Well, at least in the Russian culture, it is not very good for management, for people management. So, you should ask the employees, but it is for the management, for the top management, to have a final say. This is it. Another side effect of management by objectives is gap between skills and goals. As soon as, imagine if you, for example, take our case, we didn't have any management by objectives in place in 2009, but then we decided to implement it. Of course, we had very challenging goals for the year, and naturally the middle managers, especially, all the other employees as well, including the top managers, just didn't have enough skills and competences to be able to meet the goals. That was a big problem. And there was no time for them to learn because the situation was critical. We had no money, we had cash flow problems, brink on insolvency. This is why the side effect was that two middle managers, very important guys, just lost motivation and left the company. They had to leave because they saw that they are not coping with achieving the goals, and they not coping with being trained. They had didn't have time. That was well, the result was bad morale, risk of instability in the company, but well, we coped. So the solution is you've got to have work instruction for all critical, at least the critical procedures in your company, like whether it is in-house quality assurance or project management, whatever, finding translators, resources, doesn't matter. And they should be a skill assessment before you implement management by objectives. So you should know for sure what skills, what manager, what employee has before you switch to MBO, management by objectives. So another thing is management by objectives is time consuming. So really eats up a lot of time because you, for example, setting goals for all employees take about a week. So it's about 40 hours you spend. Well, me and our chief operations officer, we sit with all employees for a week. We don't do anything else. It's like 8 hours every day. We just speak about the goals because we have 40 people. And also the performance review takes about a week as well. So that's a great deal of time. And you have to monitor the goals, the progress every month, every week, every day. Well, okay, every day 5 minutes, but anyway, some time. You should switch your attention from other tasks to do to this goal achieving thing. My mistake was that that was delegated to the chief operations officer. So besides doing operations, he also was responsible for the goals. And the outcome was, you could imagine what it was. So the problem was that there was some quality problems in the operations, and also we didn't perform as well as we intended to, and we didn't implement management by objectives like correctly, 100% correctly. So the lesson learned is that management by objectives should be managed, should be implemented, should be controlled by a different person than the person who runs daily management in the company. Otherwise you're in trouble. And another side effect is management by objectives is formalistic. So if you have got many formal instruments at the same time, just people will not like it. They will say, okay, another form to fill in, all right, another KPIs, whatever, blah, 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 we're tired. So you'd better implement the instruments one by one, the tools, the management tools one by one. For 2012, we implemented Mind Map. So this is a useful tool for setting up goals, and this is our company. Yeah, we not only do management by objectives, but we also, do some fighting and have a good time. Thank you.